In this video, we're going to focus on substitution, and when you substitute a value into an equation or an expression, you simply replace your unknown or your letter with a specific number, so with a specific value. In my examples, I will be replacing x with its value, which is 3. So every time I see x, I will be replacing it with 3. Okay, and then I have to calculate the value of those expressions. So my first example is going to be which is x plus 5, so that's going to be 3 plus 5. Okay, so that's 3 plus 5, and the answer is 8. Remember, 3x actually means 3 times x, so that's 3 times 3, which is 9. And the next one, 15 take away x, which is 3, so that is 12. Then 7 plus x, so that's 7 plus 3, which is 10. And the next one, 12 over 3. Remember, over means division, so 12 divided by 3 is 4. And the last one, 3 over 9, which can be simplified to 1/3, because we can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 3. Okay, so these are very simple examples, and we're going to look at some more complex ones, and especially the ones that we can sometimes see in science and physics. So I've got some examples here. Okay, in the first example, I need to find the force. Okay, so I need to find F when I know that the value of M is 40. Okay, so when I see M, I need to replace it with 40, and then the value of A, which is 4. Now, please remember that when you have MA, you need to realize that the operation that we've got here is times. So that actually means M times A. Now, the value of M is 40, so that's 40 times, and the value of A is 4. So that is going to be 160 newtons. Okay, for the next one, I've got the value of B, okay, which is 6, and then the value of H, which is 8. Okay, so now I can just substitute those two values into the formula. Okay, this formula is for the area of a triangle. Okay, so that is 6 times 8 divided by 2. 6 times 8 is 48, divided by 2, that is 24 centimeters squared. Okay, and in the next one, we've got W. So every time I see W, okay, I have to use 200, well, there's only one W, and when I see T, I need to use 25. So now I'm going to substitute those values. Okay, so I've got 200 over 25. Okay, 200 over 25. Remember that 200 needs to be divided by 25, because that's what over means. Okay, when you have it as a fraction, that means we need to divide. Okay, and that is 8. Okay, and that's it. And here we have some slightly harder examples, but we can still manage just fine. So in the first, okay, that's y equals mx plus c. You may recognize this equation. This is the equation of a straight line. Okay, and I can find the value of y. Now, you see that I've got the value of m, which is 2. I've got the value of x, which is 3, and I've got the value of c, which is 8. Okay, so now I'm going to rewrite this with my values. Okay, so that is y equals, now m is 2. Now remember, mx means m times x, so that's 2 times 3, then add 8. 2 times 3 is 6, add 8, that is 14. Okay, the next two examples, that these are kinematics formulae. Okay, you may come across those in physics, but also in maths. Okay, so we've got the value of u. Okay, so that is u, and that is 4. The value of a, which is a half, and the value of t, which is 10. Okay, so now I'm going to rewrite it now. So that's v equals u, which is 4, add a, which is 0.5. Now times, remember at means a times t, 10. Okay, we need to remember about bit mass. I need to do multiplication first. So that's 4 plus, now 0.5 times 10 is 5. And then 4 plus 5 is 9. Okay, and the last one. So I've got u, which is 4.5. I've got t twice, okay, which is 2. And I've got a, which is 3. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this now. So that's going to be S equals U, which is 4.5, times, because remember UT means U times T. Okay, the value of T is 2. Then add a half times, because remember a half AT squared, okay, means that it's multiplication between a half and A, and then between A and T. So a half times A, which is 3, times T, which is 2, and remember that T needs to be squared. Okay, now we just need to remember about the correct order of operations. Okay, so for example, this multiplication needs to be done before I can add. So that is 9. 4.5 times 2 is 9. Then add, and then here I've got powers that I need to deal with first. So I'm just going to copy the rest so I don't have to do everything at once. So 4 is the answer here, because 2 squared is 4. Okay, and now I need to do multiplication. So I have a half times 3 times 4. Remember that with multiplication the order doesn't matter. Okay, so it's actually easier to do 3 times 4 first and then find a half of it. 3 times 4 is 12, and then a half of 12 is 6. So plus 6, that is 15. Okay, and that's the answer.